writing in vertex form, we're going to want to remember what that looks like. Vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, where the h and the k value actually is the vertex on the graph. So when we look at our graph, do we know what the vertex is? And we can say, oh, it's this point right here, which is a negative 2, positive 3. So our vertex is a negative 2, 3. And then we also have another point highlighted for us. We can use this point to help us out also. That point is a 1, negative 6. And now let's see what we have. With our vertex, we know it's going to be y equals a times, now x minus the negative 2 becomes x plus 2 squared, and then plus 3. Now looking at that, I could say, oh, the vertex is negative 2, 3, which matches up with what we said it should be. In this, we're going to have to figure out what our a value is, our pattern of change. We want to do it mathematically. We may be able to look at the graph and say, oh, here's what I think it is, but let's just make sure we can back it up with some math. This is where our second point comes in, where we have an x and a y to help us out. I'm just going to substitute in the x and the y and plug in those points into this equation, and then that leaves us with just the a variable that we don't know. And we can solve for that. So we're looking at negative 6 equals a times, now the x value is a 1, so 1 plus 2 squared plus 3. At this point, it really just becomes an order of operations problem to get the a by itself. You know, as we simplify, 1 plus 2 is 3 squared plus 3. Now 3 squared is a 9, so negative 6 equals a times 9. I'm just going to write it as 9a plus 3. And now let's get that a by itself. We'll subtract 3 from both sides, so negative 9 equals 9a, and divide by the 9, so we have our a value is a negative 1. Since we know the a value and we know the vertex, that's all we need in order to write vertex form. So our final answer will be y equals our a value, a negative 1, or just negative. Either way, it doesn't matter. But then in parentheses, we'll just, we already know from over here what that's going to look like. X plus 2 squared plus 3. And this is the equation for the parabola in the picture.